Pisces, welcome to the end of October, a general tarot forecast. And there's going to be a new moon, which is occurring in your 9th house. And this is happening on the 30th of the month. And so the 9th house is the house that is associated with publishing, higher education, spiritual and philosophical frameworks. So anything with religion and just even yoga, I think, would fall into this category because it is an organized idea, a philosophical system. And what else? Foreign travel, did I say that? So you might be doing something where you are going to embark on a journey of sorts. And maybe it'll be a literal one. Maybe you're going to be starting some kind of university course. I don't know. I mean, October is kind of an unusual time to start that kind of stuff. Maybe you're going to be teaching. That's always a possibility. So let's see what the cards say. Oh, this one, I always want to put it there, and it belongs here. Okay. Let's talk about this. This is the overall theme or focus for the last half of October. King of Cups. Because you're a water sign, this could definitely be you kind of really getting yourself emotionally in balance, because the king is in control. For some of you, this might be somebody else. Maybe this is another water sign individual who is figuring into your life. So this would be a very compassionate person, but somebody who is also in a position of authority. This could even be like a boss who's like a second father to you. Could be your father. And even if your father has passed, it could be that his influence is affecting you at the end of October, maybe helping you in some way. But, because you are a water sign, this could be a facet of yourself, in terms of being able to harness what the water sign energy represents. Emotions at the highest level, but also intuition. In conjunction with the masculine energy of the king, which is kind of like a take charge or a, externalized energy, kind of like projected outwards. So there's like a balance there between the feminine and masculine principles. And that is really good, in anything that we're trying to do when we combine the passive or the intuitive and the more external, the outward. Because I feel like that's the best road to success. When you, like for instance, if you meditate and, pursue a career, I think you're better off because you're always tapping into that infinite source, which, creativity is part of that. And that helps you, and whether you're working for somebody else or you're working for yourself. Now, this could be a career energy where an example is that you have somebody in your corner who is putting in a good word for you. Maybe it's a supervisor, a boss, somebody who's in charge of a company or a business. And that is helpful to advance your career. Now, we do have in the past position, we have this Two of Wands, this is oftentimes seen as a card of somebody deciding whether or not to leave a particular situation. It could be even geographically, it could be, deciding between two jobs. And obviously, because this is a general reading, it could also relate to your personal life. So it could be that you're deciding between somebody who's a fire sign and a water sign, or that there are just two people involved and maybe one is a fire sign. I do get a lot of fire energy here because of the wands that are present. So that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or whatever sign the other person is. Just that general sense of, intensity. Well, that's not a good word, not intensity, but a lot of aggression and enthusiasm. Ambition, is associated with wands. So this is career stuff. When you get a lot of wands, it's probably career concerns. And, Pisces people, your symbol are two fish going in opposite directions. A lot of Pisces, now this is not true 100% of the time. I do sometimes get people writing me because of what I say, because I do generalize, since this is a general reading. And yes, it is simplistic to generalize, but that's the best we can do when we don't have, when we're not doing individual charts or anything like that. We're kind of like broad brushing. But, Pisces in general, just to clarify, is not an ambitious sign, not worldly ambition. Okay, so maybe spiritually ambitious, but not necessarily worldly ambitions. And what happens when Pisces, but I personally know somebody who's a Pisces and is very ambitious, but that seems to be an outlier. Pisces people tend to be the type that it's not about stepping over other people to get where they want to go. They're not willing to do that sometimes, or probably all the time. They're too concerned about the other person to ever do that. So even if they could stand to gain, they would hold back in many cases because they don't want to be, they're very compassionate, they're very empathetic. They really literally feel like you are them. And so if they screw you over, they've screwed themselves over. So it's not something that Pisces just does very easily, is to walk over people to get where they want to be in life. So, competition tends to be a dog-eat-dog type of an affair. And so that's something that Pisces doesn't like, typically. But if somebody is helping you in some way and kind of putting out a good word about you, then that might be what that king is doing for you. So if this is a referral, or just the person is helping you within your own business, within their own business, then that can be very, satisfying for you or helpful for you. Now, what's coming in, and this is probably along the lines of that or the same time, is the Seven of Wands. So it's like if somebody's vouching for you, it's almost like fending off attacks in terms of maybe, maybe you have had, it's like with coworkers or something, where they're trying to get in the good graces as well. And unfortunately, and this is, I really believe that this is unfortunate, that some people feel like whatever it takes to get where they are. And so if it means that you have to go down, they're willing to do that. So it might not be a very pleasant situation for you. And as a matter of fact, the higher message is the Ten of Wands, which is warning you that you could be experiencing burnout. So let's say you did get a promotion, or, you know, the equivalent of that. What the Seven of Wands in the upper right corner may be suggesting is that when you get that higher position, then there are people that are still, maybe they're going after you twice as hard, and maybe you're being overburdened with more work as a result. So it's like kind of like, okay, now you might be making more money, now you might have a higher status, but then on top of it you have more aggravations because you're dealing with jealous co-workers and having to do a lot more, having a lot more responsibility. And so you're going to have to learn how to balance if that's the case. Now, because the past position is with this idea of like, what should I decide? Maybe you will decide after all. Maybe you kind of thought, you know, I'm going to stick with this situation, and maybe I'll rise through the ranks. Maybe you'll have second thoughts about you know, not leaving, and you may decide that that's the best thing after all. The card that crosses you is the King of Swords, and I'm reading that as a challenge card. So the King of Swords in reverse is someone who may be very out of control in how they communicate particularly. So they may be they may be verbally abusive. This could be somebody that you're dealing with. Maybe it's somebody who feels like they were wronged. If this is a relationship issue, this could be an air sign person who's causing you problems. So that would be a Gemini or Aquarius or Libra individual. And it's almost like this, I was going to say, it sounds sexist because I'm saying the scorned woman. But it doesn't have to be a woman. A man can feel scorned and kind of try to seek revenge as well. So if somebody feels like they didn't get what they wanted, so they're going to try to take you down by, you know, either harassment or just behind your back, they might be doing it as well. That could be causing you headaches and problems, and you probably, again, you know, may find that you're not interested in dealing with this anymore. Maybe it's just like gotten to be too much. But it could be even like an unethical lawyer or somebody from the legal system that is, you know, fast talking you, telling you things. You know, like for instance, if you had some workplace grievance because of other people, and you were getting advised about it, and you know, you might be dealing with somebody who's telling you a lot of good stuff, but they really have a forked tongue. I'm trying to think about in relationships, because I was trying to... I just want to say, if you're involved in a personal relationship, there may be more than one party that is kind of, you know, fighting amongst themselves for someone. It could have to do with the father of somebody's child. And so in those types of situations, you even, you know, regardless of what player you are in that particular scenario, you have to, you know, decide what is the honorable thing to do, as well as the mature thing. The King of Cups is someone who is not into drama, you know. Their emotional interactions are of an evolved quality, not an infantile quality of lashing out because they, you know, don't like the situation. The advice is the Six of Swords, moving to calmer waters, whatever that means. Again, you know, as I say, this could be in any type of situation. There's like combative and very strenuous energy happening around this. And even in personal relationships, it could be that you're experiencing the brink of burnout, dealing with all these stresses. And so it's saying you have the power to just leave that environment. It's up to you to decide whether or not to do that. And it's like, you know, there's that saying, I choose peace. And that implies that other people are not choosing peace. You know, if you're saying that in this type of situation, you're saying, you know, you can do whatever you want. I choose peace. And it's also saying that you are the master of your own ship, and that nobody else is responsible for the choices that you make. And if you choose to be with somebody who is, you know, never calm, who always, you know, seems to relish, you know, chaos or conflict, then what does it say about you? You know, you have to be the one to determine your what you want for your future. You can't rely on other people to change if they have dysfunctional behavior. You have to say, you know, this is what I'm willing to tolerate. Oh, you're not willing to provide that. Okay, well, I'm getting on my boat and I'm, you know, sailing off into a peaceful reality. And I'm not going to embroil myself in this any longer. And the outcome is the Six of Cups. And this is a card of, they always say that this is a nostalgic card. It's a card of, like, you know, childhood. But it can deal with your children right now. But it deals with innocence and memories of simpler times, happy times from the past. So, you know, when we're talking about relationships, sometimes it can be connecting with somebody from your past. And maybe that if you physically leave, this can be a card of actually physically moving. And as I said, that connects to that Two of Wands. There's contemplation with that Two of Wands of moving. And with the Two of Wands, it's possibly for work. But, you know, the Six of Swords, it can be moving away from conflict. Okay, so there might be two different motives for moving with those two different cards. But the Six of Cups might mean that you're moving back to your hometown. You're moving back to a place. Maybe you will meet someone that you... Maybe that's what that Two of Wands was about all along. Maybe you know, were corresponding with somebody from your hometown, from the past. And now you're, you know, going towards them. Maybe you tried really, really hard to make something else work and it just wasn't working. But even with career, the Six of Cups may suggest that you say to yourself, you know what, I always wanted to do X, Y, or Z, and I think I'm going to do that, and I'm going to create a business around it. And maybe you've just had it up to here with working for other people. Maybe you just had so much. If it wasn't, you know, the boss giving you so much work, you were dealing with jealous coworkers. So now you said, that's it. I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm going to be very happy doing my own thing. And it's going to be a lot less complicated, and I'm going to just relive innocent times where I'm doing what I always wanted to do. And in terms of relationships, I'm going to, you know, rekindle a relationship with somebody that I hold very dear to my heart, who, you know, long ago we had a thing, and it was a very innocent, uncomplicated time in my life, and I want to recreate that in my life. I'm having too much complication, too much work, you know, overwork, feeling tired, feeling burdened, and I want this innocence back in my life. And so, okay, you know, that's wonderful. And so I really hope that you guys got something from this reading, and if you'd like a personal reading, Pisces, please click on the link below this video. Otherwise, have a great rest of October. Bye.